in our life, our money, and our purpose through the energy of our ancestors. I want to thank you for your likes, your comments, your shares, and your subscribes here on the channel. It is always appreciated. And a major shout out to all the channel members as well as the members over on my website. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your continued support here on the channel and on Patreon. Thank you, loves. Thanks to everyone who has purchased from my tea and my candle company. Thank you. So it's registration day. Registration has opened up for the Butterfly Effect Conference. Let me know if you got your pre-registration tickets already. But public registration has to open, so you can get to that at bethebutterflyeffect.com. Or you can access the website from my website, monicole.com, in which semester 6 enrollment has officially opened. And so the difference between the Patreon version and the website version is that the Patreon version, membership over there, you're not included in like the activities, the accountability sessions, what is it? We're adding in yoga sessions and things of that nature. Like, so you're not going to have access to like the in-person sessions, and it's more so the replays of the classes and things of that nature. Okay, so definitely check that out over on my website. You can go to manifestoutloud.com or monicole.com, and you can access that way. Okay, so let's get into today's session. So this session, y'all, so ancestors gave me this message when I got up, right? And so I've been up since before the crack of dawn, honey. It's about 4:30. And so I was up doing some work, of course, meditating, and I watched a movie and stuff. And the movie was about basically like parallel realities, like a butterfly effect energy, right? Which is where I came up with the butterfly effect. Okay. It's the phenomenon that one change in your reality, like one change in something, can change the entire trajectory of your life. Okay. And so this energy, though, I heard the ancestors say they're not going through a parallel reality situation. They're moving into a perpendicular reality. Now, my math heads, you know what I'm talking about, okay? Now for my, I don't have any blank paper. Because it's better to see if you don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm just going to write on the back of this. Okay, so the parallel reality is basically when you have parallel lines, okay? So the lines are either, they could be any type of, okay, I had notes. I had to make sure it wasn't any information on here that yeah. This is what parallel lines would look like, okay? They go in the same direction and they're next to each other, okay? They can be any which way, okay? Perpendicular lines are two lines together that make a right angle. So like right here, okay? So it could be that, or you also have like that, okay? And so what Spirit is telling me is that you're coming from, because when I was like, hold up, what you mean, ancestor? What you mean? I started consulting the spiritual world. I'm like, what they talking about? Okay. And they said, when you're in a parallel reality, you're on the same timeline. You've just shifted to a different reality on that timeline. When you shift into a perpendicular timeline, you have the ability to stop time or go backwards in time. And I stopped it there. I was like, I think I want to pull cards on it, you know, within the recording. I was like, I'm going to pull cards on it. And so as we sit here and, you know, discuss to get into the conversation, it's like when you shift into a perpendicular, you're able to, it gives a vibe of like living on your own time. You're living on your own agenda. You're living on your own reality. Like, I don't have to accept that it's year 2024. I don't have to accept. And this makes me think of, I actually made a post on Facebook earlier. Definitely check me out on Facebook if you haven't. I made a post on Facebook earlier that said that the 90s was the last generation of like original content. The original movies, themes, like it's just the 90s is something that can't just be replaced, right? And so once we hit the 2000s, it's like everything started to be recycled. It's something about your ancestors are giving a message along the line of controlling time, controlling your time, controlling which timeline you choose to be on, controlling the habits that you choose to. A message that spirit gave me yesterday, and it was ancestors. It was ancestors. It's coming together. So yesterday, spirit gave me this message, but I was like working. I said, okay, I'm gonna write it down. I never wrote it down, but it just came back to me, and it was in regards to money, currency. You know, how we have paper money, right? So think about how, I mean, my fellow poor kids, you know what I'm saying? When we grew up, you remember we had food stamps wasn't on a card. Food stamps was in a booklet. Okay? I remember getting change back with food stamps too, though. We had this little store, baby, from where, baby, they just knew us, okay? And I remember being given these food stamps from the booklet and like buying things with it. And it's like, I wasn't embarrassed of it, you know? Sure, I was a kid. All I knew, I was getting what I wanted, okay? And so we went from that to the cards, okay? Society and money, currency, how it's changed over time, even down to, it's hard to find the old quarters. Y'all notice that? Because I try to keep, well, let me not share that publicly. So it's hard to find old coins. And you know, a lot of the old money is what really had the real metal in it. So now we're in a phase where they want us to get into a cashless society. And there's a lot of negatives to that. Okay? One of the big things is that they want to be able to control your money from all angles. Okay? We already know what happened when they was trying to, you know, start taxing the Cash App and Apple Pays and all that stuff, right? But if everything is run by technology, they can freeze it whenever they want. They can stop it. If you're running things with cash, it could be untraceable. So they want it to be that it's about to start being stores and corporations that stop accepting cash, if it hasn't already happened. I feel like it has already started happening, but it's about to become very popular. And it's something about watch what you buy into. Do not buy into it too much. We need to keep cash in rotation. Okay? So while this reality is shifting, make sure you stay attuned with some of the older timelines. So go into a perpendicular, because a perpendicular line can be, ooh, hold on, y'all. So a perpendicular line, you see how this perpendicular, but then I can move this line. So instead, the line can be all the way over here. Baby, this is horrible, but I'm writing the other way. That's still perpendicular, whether if it's equally in the center or not. You can shift along the timeline. You can shift wherever you want to on the timeline, okay? Versus being on that same shift in that same timeline of everything of what's going on right now. So it's something about within the, and the currencies. So knowing how to invest in the currencies, and that's why Spirit had me put that poll on the community tab yesterday, in regards to people who, if you trade in the stock markets and the cryptos and stuff, they're saying you need to know how to play their timeline, their game for wealth creation and growth, but you also need to stay attuned to the other timelines of things, okay? Because I'm even getting this energy of them selling certain metals. I'm seeing gold, them selling fake gold, fool's gold, not real gold. Ancestors, they're saying shifting to a perpendicular reality allows you to have more control on your movement. It's freedom of movement. You get to move wherever you want, literally around however you want. You know, you're safe on every block, okay? You're safe on every block. Ancestors, what you got for me? I just started getting a headache, y'all. I'm gonna be honest. It's something with the technology. I've mentioned this before in a past ancestor reading. They've given this message about fake birds. Birds with monitoring systems in them. It's like in certain areas, they're ruining Earth so much they have to create artificial. They're going to start creating, how they're creating artificial intelligence. They're going to start creating like artificial life and animals and I don't know, I just heard frequencies. So all frequency music is not that frequency. Artificial frequencies. And then I just started tapping on the cards. It's sounds underneath sounds. So similar to binaural beats, how you have to listen to it with headphones because there's a different sound in each one. And then I look, we have the Heka, okay, with magic. With where, wow. Your ancestors are saying it's time to, no, I don't know why I was here. I feel like busting loose, busting loose. I feel like busting loose, busting loose. Hit the bridge now. Anyway, because segment came out in the reverse. And so it's like letting go of trying to hold on to something or hold something in some kind of way, resistance of something. They're boiling frogs. Don't become a boiled frog. So you all know on the story on how to boil a frog. So if you boil the water first and put the frog in the water, in the boiling water, the frog is going to jump out because the fuck, okay? It's boiling water. What you trying to do? It's going to jump out. Okay? But as an amphibian, if you put it in nice, cool, you know what I'm saying, nice temperature that they're used to, they're going to be in there swimming, you know, floating on a little lily pad or whatever, thinking they living a life. But you have the heat on real low. So the water gets warmer and warmer and warmer, and the frog's body adjusts to the temperature of the water. Okay? Till eventually the water's boiling and the frog is dead. It's something about being aware of what's going on around you, but not being afraid of what's going on around you. Because you come from a lineage of ancestors that know how to adjust. You know how to adjust in difficult moments. You know how to adjust in, you know, trying times. You know how to adjust. Yeah, 10 of Scarabs at the bottom of the deck. Y'all know how, like, you come from a lineage of, like, you're always going to be good and taken care of. There's no worry there. But you don't want to be made a fool in something and be unaware. Your ancestors want you to be aware. Yeah, 6 of Scarabs in the reverse. I'm hearing they're not always going to be able to help you. Because sometimes you're not going to have time to, you know, wait on a response or wait on you get what I'm saying? So it's like they want you to get to a certain place. Ancestors, what's the theme energy? I did not know what to expect with this reading, y'all. I was like, because I like to pull while recording and stuff. Like, I know some people like to get the full picture, like, you know, in the beginning, but I like to let it cook. Like, I like to let it build, you know. It's like the suspense of it, like, dang, and what else, you know? You know, like we receiving the gossip from the ancestors. We have relationship change coming out, but you know what's telling me? It's not like a relationship change with like a person. It's like a relationship, your relationship with something. So you know how they say we need to work on our relationship with the money, work on our relationship with, you know, these different things, you know, because all of that is a noun. Okay, so you need, it's some type of noun, okay? A person, place, or thing that's out there that some type of relationship change needs to happen with. Some type of relationship change needs to happen with. I'm gonna let you stop and think about that for a second. You thinking? You thinking? Is you thinking or is you thinking? Okay. Is you thinking or is you thinking? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. So, hold on one second. You see how I just got slightly distracted? I feel like that's a part of the message. This is to keep you from getting distracted. Okay? So don't be like me. This is a story of not getting distracted. Your ancestors don't want you to get distracted. So your relationship changed with distractions. 7 of Knives. Yeah. 7 of Knives. Your relationship with distractions. So with this 7 of Knives card, and what I find interesting, this is the ancestor deck. But one thing I love about and just people ask me about my deck, y'all. Links to almost everything y'all be asking about is in the description box. I promise. So the 7 of Knives in this deck with this card in the booklet or whatever, you can't tell if this person is on the offense or defense. Okay? You can't tell if they're coming or going. But that's the thing, you can't tell. So since you can't tell, it could become a distraction because you're going to spend all this time trying to figure it out. So it's something about things that take too much of your time to have no resolution. It got to go. But it's something deeper with the 7 of Knives, because 7 of Knives ain't always bad. 7 of Knives has this internal energy of like, I'm trying to pull the energy out the air. So, but no, it's like you have to be determined. It's like being intentional about something. So like 7 of Knives can even be, you know how when businesses and things of that nature with their marketing, they do things intentionally to get a certain eye. Okay. So some people could say that's being sneaky, it's being whatever. But to them, it's like, no, they're being intentional to get what it is that they want back. Okay. You know, cunning or whatever, however you want to put it. Okay. You know what, spirit? Let me pull another card. Let me pull another card just to be sure. You know what ancestors is telling me with the 4 of coins coming out with it? you're going to be changing, because I'm hearing from off of Hunger Games, realizing who the real enemy is, or just like realizing people for who they are. Your ancestors said you're about to start going into that phase of realizing people for who they are and keeping certain things to yourself. Keeping certain things to yourself. But we've been talking about that all day, right? We've been talking about that for the past few weeks, I feel like. But this is a little different. This is kind of like, because why am I hearing Too Short? Man, who do you love? Mm, 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 mm. Who do you love? That is Too Short, ain't it? Who do you love? Y'all can correct me in the comments if it's not, but not letting people know who or what you really like follow or do. So it gives a vibe like, even with voting, you can have conversations and all that jazz, but you ain't got to tell people who you voting for. You keep that to yourself. And that's the Four of Coins energy. So it could be that relationship change with like being smarter with what you share and what you don't share and how you share it. But to the extent of what you follow and what you do. And it's certain situations that you're that way in. It's certain situations that you're that way in. Ancestors, any final message? I feel like there's so much more I could go into with this reading. I have to get ready for class, though. The Six of Wands. I love how she has this teal color on. It's so beautiful. 2233. You remember how you used to go to those carnivals and stuff? This was back in the 90s. We would go to the carnivals and be on the horses and just ride around the carousel. You know, I remember the movie theaters used to be really popping, and now people just watch it at home, you know. The Six of Wands is something about celebration. Looks like she's celebrating herself, but it gives me a vibe of a lot of you all, your grandparents may have watched you ride those horses around the carousel, or just an ancestor in general. It's something about when you celebrate, ask yourself what really matters to you through that celebration. What really matters to you in that celebration, and focus on that. I'm going to leave that here. If you're interested in a personal reading, check out my website at moenicole.com. Make sure to get registered for the Butterfly Effect Conference. You can access that at bethebutterflyeffect.com, or you can get it from moenicole.com. I have a link on my homepage. Register for semester 6 of the Butterfly School of Transformation. If you just want replays, you can register on Patreon. If you are interested in, and for semester 6, the Patreon ones are going to be able to get exclusive like channel messages and stuff as well. So that's also changing for semester 6 because of the shifts. So replays on the Patreon, and then you get channel membership content, and then the full experience through the cohort is through my website. So check it out. Thank you all for being here. And as always be real, always be true. Don't be afraid to do what your higher self and your spirit team is calling for you to do. Period. I love you all, and I'll see you later. Bye.